In this lecture, we are going to begin working on the form by waiting for the document to load. Before we do, let's talk about using React versus plain JavaScript. Throughout these past few sections, we've been relying on React to help us build blocks. We are required to use React with the Gutenberg editor. On the front end, it's a different story. WordPress is front-end agnostic. We are allowed to use any library or framework for building interfaces. It's completely up to you if you would like to use React in our theme. For this course, we are going to explore two options. First, we are going to build interfaces with plain JavaScript. Secondly, we will build interfaces with React on the front end. Both options are viable. By experiencing both options, you will be able to decide what best suits you. For this block, we are going to use plain JavaScript. No libraries or frameworks. The first step in our journey is to wait for the document to load. To understand why, let's open the Elements panel with the developer tools. Next, let's search for the frontend.js file. The file gets loaded with the script tag. That much is obvious. However, the location of the script tag is not ideal. If we look at the parent element, it's the head tag. Previously, we talked about loading scripts in the footer. By adding a script in the head section, we may experience issues with blocking. As of the recording of this lecture, there isn't a solution for forcing the script to be loaded in the footer. Luckily, there is a solution for waiting for the document to load. Inside your text editor, open the frontend.js file. Replace the log statement with the following function, document.addEventListener. JavaScript is a language that has an event system. We can listen to various events on the elements in our document. Normally, we would add a property to a component or element. However, that's the React way of listening to events. With plain JavaScript, the syntax is different. We can call the addEventListener function to listen for an event. This function must be changed to an element. In this example, we are chaining the function on the document object, which represents the entire document. The document object has a special event. Inside the first argument of this function, we must provide the event's name as a string. Let's pass in an event called DOM_CONTENT_LOADED. This event will be emitted after the entire document has been loaded. This is perfect. By waiting for the document to be loaded, we are safe to begin executing JavaScript. It doesn't matter if the script was added to the head section of a document. You may be wondering, why haven't we used this event earlier? Beforehand, we relied on Gutenberg to wait for the document to load. This means we never had to worry about waiting for the document. We benefited greatly from Gutenberg's behavior. However, we're not loading this script for the Gutenberg editor. Therefore, we must handle this process ourselves. The second argument to this function is a callback function. The browser will run our function after the event has been emitted. Let's pass in an arrow function. Lastly, let's log a message to the console. Let's test our code by refreshing the experimental page in the browser. Inside the console panel, the message from our file has been logged. This indicates the event was emitted after the document had been completely loaded. We are safe to execute additional code. If you're ever working on the front end, you should always load scripts at the bottom of the document. If you can't, you can resort to this event.